What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman, and first off, hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful Friday. But coming up on today's show, we're going to be diving into ESPN's Matt Miller's 2025 NFL mock draft, where I actually loved his selections for the New York Jets. So before we dive into that, let's get the good vibes going with the draft. Less than a month away at this point, which is crazy to say. But if you guys want the Jets to crush this year's NFL draft, just go down there, hit that thumbs up icon, and put the goal on today's show as 300 likes. If you guys see, we're not at 300 likes. Help me out, make me look good for my bosses, and go down there and hit that thumbs up icon. All right, let's dive into his first pick at number 7 for the New York Jets. And no shocker here. It's going to be Missouri offensive tackle Armand Membou. Now, obviously, the Jets have a dire need at that right tackle spot, and Armand Membou would be a plug-and-play guy right away. And this is actually what Matt Miller had to say on the Jets drafting the Missouri offensive tackle, saying after signing quarterback Justin Fields in free agency, the Jets need to give him protection following the departure of right tackle Morgan Moses. Membou has steadily risen throughout the process and is now the top offensive lineman in the class. He is an upper-tiered mover with excellent agility and power in his game. He's a little raw in pass protection, but the quickness and awareness to prevent pass rushers from consistently penetrating the backfield. Some teams might be concerned about his height, 6'4", but his length and movement ability are good enough to project him as a high-end right tackle. And I totally agree with Matt Miller on that. I'm a massive fan of Armand Membou, and I think would be a plug-and-play guy where you could sit back as a Jets fan and say, hey, we got our tackles of the future. Olu Fashanu last year at pick number 11. Armand Membou this year at pick number 7. But I will say, consistently across the board with mock drafts involving the New York Jets at pick number 7, it has either been Armand Membou or Tyler Warren, and I love to hear that because both those guys are my 2 dream targets for the Jets at pick number 7. If you would go Tyler Warren, in my opinion, you'd be getting a guy who's going to step into the NFL right away, be a top 5 tight end, improve your run game, improve your pass game immediately. But if you just go Armand Membou, you would be creating a solid offensive line for the Jets. So no problems with the first pick, according to Matt Miller here. But kick it to round number 2. They got them doubling down on the trenches, this time on the defensive side of the field, where they had the Jets taking Ohio State defensive tackle Tyleik Williams. Now, I got a lot of thoughts on this in terms of how I think this could impact the Aaron Glenn culture. But let's first check out what Matt Miller had to say on the Jets drafting Williams, saying after addressing the offense in round 1, it's time to get the Jets a one technique who can line up next to Quinnen Williams. Tyleik Williams has mass, 334 pounds, and starter-level tape in run defense. He dominates in a phone booth and throws blockers out of his way with violent hands and a strong punch. He is not known for his pass rush, 2.5 sacks in 2024, but there is some upside in that area. Some teams might see Williams' quickness and short arms, 32 inches, and slot him as a 3-tech, but his strength and leverage can win when he lined up near the center. And I think if the Jets do go this direction, where there's Armand Membou in round 1 and Tyleik Williams in round 2, I think this would be culture picks for New York because, hey, Aaron Glenn, Tanner Engstrad, coming from the Detroit Lions, the Lions over the last couple of years have been the most physical football team in the National Football League. And I think Aaron Glenn wants to bring some toughness back to New York, add some physicality. And how do you create a physical culture? You add physical players in the trenches, and Membou and Williams would be just that. So I'm a fan of that, of those first 2 selections for New York, but I'm also a massive fan of the round 3 pick at pick number 73, where they had the New York Jets selecting Penn State safety Jaylen Reed. Now, this guy is an extremely versatile player, and you know Steve Wilks, he's going to love these versatile safeties, line them up in the box, drop them into a deep half, play them all around the football field, and he can do just that. But this is what Matt Miller had to say on the Jets drafting Reed. The Jets added safety Andre Sisco, but new coach Aaron Glenn will want to build out the back end of the defense in his vision. Reed's speed and striking ability will make him a coach's favorite. Totally agree with that. Aaron Glenn would love to get his hands on this guy. And, you know, even though the coverage stats don't blow you away from this past season at Penn State, still was a playmaker anytime he got the ball in his hands. I mean, he had 6 PBUs, 3 interceptions, truly a force there in the secondary. And, you know, if you look at just these first 3 picks, like we would all want the Jets to go get a weapon. And you're not getting that because of Membou, Tyleik Williams, and Jaylen Reed. But I think if I had to predict the first 3 picks, I almost think this is incredibly likely because this is what I imagine what Aaron Glenn and new GM Darren Moogie want. But I'll ask you guys, grade the first 3 picks for me. If this is how the Jets draft shook out during the first 3 rounds, how you feeling? Give me an A, B, C, D, or F down below in the comment section. You guys let me know your thoughts. Take out those red pens and grade the first 3 picks for me. All right, let's kick it to round 4 where the Jets finally get that tight end, and that's going to be Texas tight end Gunnar Helm. Now, I will say I'm a massive fan of Gunnar Helm, one of my favorite players to watch in college football this past season. Big body, physical tight end. And you may be saying, how is he falling to round number 4? He was a household name in the college football season this past year for the Longhorns. Well, his RAS score was terrible. He ran a 4.8440, which is one of the lowest according across all tight ends at the scouting combine. But he was dealing with an injury. I was shocked that he even decided to run. But he is not a freak athlete. But the thing I love about him the most and why I am such a big Gunnar Helm fan is because I think he could be elite in the red zone right away in the NFL. He's got a big body. You could just have him run a quick hitch route, post up like he's playing basketball, and you just throw the ball in his vicinity, and he is coming down with it. Like, I think Gunnar Helm, if you had the combination of him, Stone Smart at the tight end, even though we would like the Jets to go get a Tyler Warren, an Elijah Aurora, one of those 2 players in the first or the second round, I still feel like Gunnar Helm would be an awesome pick for the New York Jets. Now, let's kick it to a Tennessee wide receiver here in round 5, getting another weapon for Justin Fields in this offense, Dante Thornton Jr. Big body, big play receiver for Tennessee. And this guy, I don't want to call him a boomer bust prospect, but that's the feeling I get with him. Now, he had some drop issues specifically in that 2023 season with Tennessee, but his first 2 collegiate years, he was with the Oregon Ducks. Over there, but he transferred to Tennessee. Big playability. 25.4 yards per catch this past season. Unreal stuff there. But in terms of the Jets wide receiver group, and why I would be a big fan of this pick, because obviously you got that X. You got Garrett Wilson. He's going to be the one on the outside. He's getting all of that attention. But I like them almost going wide receiver by committee for that wide receiver 2 spot, because you got a guy like Tyler Johnson. You picked up Josh Reynolds. You still got Malachi Corley. And then if you would just add Dante Thornton to that mix, I think it would leave us thinking about this Jets wide receiver room, even though it won't have, 2 top-end receivers. You got 1 top-end guy, and then you got solid depth for the next 4 or 5 receivers where it could just be a matchup play every single week for Tanner Eggstrand and this Jets offense. But let's kick it to round 6, and they're going to try to take a flyer on a quarterback here, and they're going to take Minnesota quarterback Max Brosmer. Now, I am a somewhat fan of his game. He was a very fun quarterback to watch this past season. I would give him that credit where it is due. And, I would like to see the growth of him starting it off his college football career at New Hampshire, took that next step to the Big Ten, and he was able to be pretty damn productive without throwing a lot of interceptions. 23 total touchdowns, 6 picks, solid completion percentage, and just under 3,000 yards. And also, I like the idea of the Jets taking a quarterback late in the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th round. Now, obviously, taking a flyer on a quarterback this late, you're kind of just throwing what on the wall and hoping it sticks. But I think the Jets are in a position where you gave Justin Fields all that money. Do you really want to go take a Jackson Dart in round 2, who, if you guys have been watching this channel, I am not a fan of his game. I just think he's more of a, my ceiling comparison for a guy like Dart is a Gardner Minshew, where he could be a solid starter. He's got okay athleticism. He's got an okay arm, in my opinion. I'm just not really buying into the hype. I just think it's kind of that process of the NFL draft where you just see these quarterbacks just start skyrocketing because there are a lot of quarterback-needy teams. But taking a flyer on the Minnesota quarterback, I would be a big, big fan of it. But we're going to close it out here with the linebacker position, and they had them taking round 6, pick 207, Jack Kaiser, the Notre Dame linebacker, leader out there on the football field, no doubt about it. And, with the Jets having Jamien Sherwood, Quincy Williams, and we did get a report that maybe Quincy Williams could be traded before the season, so this could just be another depth piece. But I think this would be a guy who'd be fighting to make the roster, flies around the football field, doesn't have the best coverage skills, but he is kind of a one-trick pony where it would be like a guy, hey, run defense, you need just to send a linebacker, running like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to get home to the running back. Like, he could be that in certain spots. But overall, I like this mock draft for the Jets. Did not get that big-time weapon, but you improved the trenches, which I think could be so huge for this Jets team moving forward. But what say you on this one? Who is your dream Jets draft pick? For me, I'm still going Tyler Warren. I think he would be a home run selection at pick number 7. Step in right away, be a top 5 tight end. But, hey, you guys let me know. Who is your dream Jets draft pick? Now, if you guys also want to hit me up on Twitter, that's a handle right there, at Pat Sieps. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right back. But we appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to watch today's video. See you guys next time. As always, go Jets.